Rachael Ray Double R doing some double M's. Woo! Food that you can make so quick it will free you up for more free time in your life. Look at that crispy skin. Delish. Ooh, that smells amazing. Boom! Nailed it! Hey everybody, Double R here. We're gonna do a meal in minutes, of course. So we're gonna make fish tacos today. We're gonna give them a little bit of a crispy finish, the big, beautiful pieces of sustainable, firm fish that we're going to use. I got sustainable cod today. You could use halibut, you could use snapper, whatever you like. For my side dish, I'm gonna do refried beans at request of John. So we're gonna start with those and get them going because obviously they have to be cooked twice. We are not going to use lard. That is traditional for refried beans. Even if I buy them in a can, I always buy spicy vegetarian. Because John has a little bit of high blood pressure. And, you know, I just like to cut back where we can on animal fat.
I can't believe you told everyone I have high blood pressure. Why would you do that? Kidding. Joke.
John was born with it. I actually think he had it as an infant. So we're just gonna chop up half of an onion. Grab our food mover here. Get it going in a skillet with a little bit of olive or vegetable oil. And then we're gonna take a chili. I have a jalapeno. You can also use a serrano, which is slightly skinnier, slightly spicier chili. I don't really care about the seeds and the ribs because John and I like really spicy food, but if you do, if you scrape them out, you cut back on the heat level. Incidentally, whenever you buy a jalapeno pepper, if you see a little tan line, those are actually called heat streaks, and that means that that jalapeno pepper is especially spicy. Little fun tip to know. So we're gonna put in one jalapeno, seeded or not, half of an onion, and a little garlic. Oh, that smells so good. So I always put away, obviously, onions clean, all your produce clean, garlic a few bulbs at a time peeled, so that we cook more often and more regularly with fresh ingredients. I'm gonna add a little cumin to this, which is spicy but not hot. It does not have heat. It just smells really smoky and earthy, kind of sexy. We're gonna sprinkle a little cumin into the pan and a little hot sauce. Good old Frank's Red Hot, which is what I had on hand in the fridge today. A little hot sauce. I have the food processor up to, of course, help us process the beans and get them back into the pan to make them crispy at the edges and make them refried. We're gonna add, of course, little salt to draw the liquids out of the chili and the onion. And then here's the fun trick. What forces this along and helps it cook much quicker is a splash of water. I put in a good half cup, a little more than a splash, I guess you'd call it. And then we can crank the heat and it forces that onion to cook out even quicker. Next up, when I make fish tacos or steak tacos, my favorite sauce is the easiest sauce in the world, right? People make a lot of flavored mayos and stuff for their fish tacos, especially. I love Mexican crema. So I take Mexican crema, you can get regular grocery store, $2.99 a bottle usually, which I find fabulous. What's $2.99 anymore, right? Like a stick of gum? Maybe a local phone call? I don't know. And then we're going to take Chipotle paste, which I buy online. My husband bought it for me in my Christmas stocking, like, I don't know, a couple years ago. And I'm obsessed with it. It's like tomato paste, but it's Chipotle. It's smoky peppers in a tube. It's fantastic. It's like Mexican harissa or something. I love this stuff. So per cup, I add about 2 tablespoons, so I gotta put in like 4. Because it's a couple cups. This is 2 cups of the crema, so. And I'm gonna save this. It's good for weeks in the fridge. So I just put a little piece of plastic. When we're done serving it today, I'll put a little plastic here, put the screw cap right back on. It's good to go. About a week from now, or a few shows from now, I'll take the plastic off and it's already made. Takes literally no time, as you can see. We then add the juice of 2 limes, 1 lime per cup of crema. Awesome. Stir. And then instead of using a funnel, I'm gonna see if a batter bowl works. I usually steal John's funnel from his bar, because I gotta dirty a bowl anyway to mix it up, right? So. Yummy. Next, let's get going on the pico. Normally we make this with ripe red tomatoes. We, this year, are growing a couple of tomatillos. So we're gonna make a raw tomatillo salsa. Now this will be very, very tangy, super tart. If you want a mellower salsa, just make traditional. Just take a few red tomatoes, seed them, chop them, and do exactly the same thing we're about to do now with the tomatillos. And take a quick break and we'll be right back. How do you like that?
Thank you. And go ahead, Rachel.
Tomatillos have a papery skin that's similar to gooseberries. It's like a giant gooseberry, okay? And it's a little tacky and sticky. So what you do is remove that little husk, and give them a quick rinse. I don't need any more today. I can save these for another recipe. We have more than enough here for 4 portions of tacos. Oh, before I start chopping tomatoes or tomatillos, I like to put a little red or white onion, salt, lime juice, chili pepper, and if you're using it, garlic, into the bowl first and let it sweat. Let the salt work on all of that, and it draws the liquid out. It makes this lovely dressing, basically, in the bottom of the bowl, because all the liquid comes out of the chili and the onion and the garlic, if you're using. And it just gathers at the bottom of the bowl. So when you throw the tomatoes or the tomatillos in, it just soaks all that up. Super delicious. So I'm gonna get these guys in there first. I cut around the seeds so it wouldn't be overbearingly hot. Okay. We like garlic in everything. Well, not like ice cream or pancakes, but, you know, savory food. And we need salt and acid to make this work. Acid. Lots of lime juice. Salt. Good amount. Over the shoulder for luck. Give that a stir. Now, that can kind of hang out. Well, you can't see what I'm doing there if I do that. While we chop our tomatillos. So the tomatillos are nice and firm, and as I said, sort of sweet tart. So I stack them, turn the slices sideways, of course, and get a small dice. Obviously, we don't seed tomatillos, right? You use all of the flesh. And then I just stack the top and the bottom and do it again. This gets really monotonous. Go get a margarita or something and come back. Honey, can you make me a regular margarita? I threw away the rest of your ginger thing.
No.
Okay. I see you made yourself a something.
No.
Should I shut this off?
No, honey. They're called refried beans. So I added the beans, and we quick cooked the onions with a little trick. We added some water. And now we're gonna literally reverse the process and try and dry them out enough to make them crispy at the edges and smooth in the center. So we pop them into our food processor. We add a little more olive oil to our pan. Traditionally, of course, these are cooked in lard or bacon fat, pork fat of some sort. In this case, we're just doing olive oil. Okay. Ooh, they smell good. Once they get nice and smooth, you literally pour them back into the pan and let them cook over medium-low heat until they dry out. They will splatter, be careful, seriously. You just want it at a low bubble, not so that it'll literally spit at you, you know what I mean? It's got an attitude, this guy. And it's hot as molten lava. Honey, can you take the base of this and get it out of our way?
Okay.
Thank you, sweetie. I'm gonna do the fish next. So I added the tomatillos, which is really boring to watch me chop. And it was just enough time while I chopped the 6 or 7 tomatillos that I had for John to make the margarita. John has a couple of special tricks to his margaritas. Instead of Cointreau, he uses Saint Germain, which is elderflower liqueur. It is so refreshing and delightful and faintly floral, lovely. Remember, we put a lot of lime juice and salt in here. And we let that set at the bottom with the red onion and the chili. Now our pico is done. I could put him back here, actually get him out of my way. We'll be right back. Now we can start the fish going. Honey, will you make me a tray to put the fish on, or just grab me one of those metal trays that I use all the time, the ovals? So the fish, any firm fish, for every person that you're feeding, you want 1/2 to 3/4 of a pound. And we're gonna cut them into strips. Whenever we buy fish, we look for this. Very firm, and no breaks in the fish, and absolutely no smell. It should just smell clean. And the fish should be very firm, and again, not pulling apart in any place. So this is sustainable cod. And I like to cut mine into long planks, okay? And then I take those planks and cut them into kind of like fish sticks. Think about the size of the soft taco shell. Got some in my basket here that we're going to just char up over the open burner. So if you look at this, the relationship here, you'll get a piece or two of fish snugly into the taco itself. So you're trying to do a like shape and size, but you're also trying to suit the size of the shell that you're using. Okay, I got so excited that I was setting up for fish tacos that I not only put the super fine flour that I use to make fish tacos in the pan, but I started to season it without you. I added Old Bay seafood seasoning. I love it. And then I said, oh wait, I think everybody else would like to see what you're putting in there too. So I add about a tablespoon of that to a cup of flour. And then I add a generous sprinkle, about 1.5 teaspoons or so, each of cumin and coriander and granulated garlic. And a little salt and pepper. Nope. Shaky, shaky. Put the fish in, brown it up. And we'll toss it around in the flour. And you can see when the oil starts to ripple, that's when you're ready to start adding fish. You could put one piece in, just to give it a little tester if you like. If it bubbles super quick like that, you're good. Can you give me that on the back, underneath the black and white long dish?
The what?
There's a giant white platter.
The dishes?
Yeah, you have 2 minutes, but do them quickly.
Quickly as the dishwasher works.
Hey, hon,
Hey, hon.
you give me the giant black cast iron skillet?
Okay.
All right, the fish looks perfect. Look how crispy and brown. Man, it looks good. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I'm also preheating an empty cast iron skillet. You can also use stainless steel. We're gonna just char up our soft corn tortillas. The reason we don't use a nonstick skillet for that is that it puts toxins in the air when you preheat a nonstick surface with nothing in it. So that is done. Fish is done. We'll pile them up. Put some lime alongside. Oh, look at that big brown piece. We'll put him up front there. Look at you. Tortillas. Come here, babies. Get a bunch of these guys in there. Okay. And then put one little piece paper towel on the bottom so it doesn't stick to the basket itself, or parchment. We have our little tortilla warmer here. Get our tongs. And you're just heating these guys up. Let me get this out of the way. I can center that better on the heat. There you go. The refried beans look pretty refried to me. See, they're crispy at the edges, and that's what you're going for. And they're still mushy in the middle. So you take all that beautiful crusty stuff, yum yum, and drop this into a bowl. Oh, look at that. Look at that crust. Oh, delightful. Love that. Gorgeous. So we've got the beans, the fish, the tortillas, nice and soft, lovingly blistered. There we go. Here's our tortillas. Here's our sauce, our chipotle sauce. Here are our pickled jalapenos. All we need is a little crunch. You can do iceberg lettuce, Napa, or we have just good old inexpensive white cabbage. A couple of cups. Just a little crunch in each taco. And for fun, when I put the cabbage in the bowl, I like to add a little spicy radish. It's gilding the lily. You don't need it. It's just something I do. I like the color. It's cute.
White cabbage is really hard to find.
Oh my gosh, I can't even believe you brought up that story. I wasn't gonna tell it. One time I sent John out to get white cabbage, and he came back. He said, I went to 4 places. And he was so angry. He was screaming at me. And I said, what do you mean you went to 4 places to get cabbage? There is no white cabbage. It's all green or purple. Red cabbage is in fact purple, and white cabbage is in fact a lovely shade of light green. Anyway,
no one told me that.
Night.
There was no instruction booklet.
It's taco night. Cheers. Wait, come back. There's so many things in this show. I forgot to put the pico in the bowl, the serving bowl. It's delicious without it because you already have the crema sauce, but whatever. The pico looks beautiful, and I went to the trouble of chopping all of those tomatillos. There. Now you can go.